are watching and listening to the Satellite Trampoline 3 podcast with your hosts, Rich Clinton, Thom Tessandori, and Andy Makin. Join us as we discuss anything but politics.
Save me. I don't think I can save myself. Help me.
Yeah, I mean, it's just... Part of it is it's not very structured. And it's strange to me that, you know, when I started 40 years ago, it wasn't very structured. It was ran by a bunch of ne'er-do-wells and people. It's like carnival. It's like a bunch of, you know, carnival workers that somehow keep this machine. And then you meet the people that are higher up. The same thing. They're just... The shows that we've had, the people that you've dealt with, it's like, how does this even work with this group running everything all the time, you know?
This level of ineptitude and bitterness.
It's crazy. Yeah. But it's a ton of work, you know, and when we first started the band, we practiced 5 days a week. And then we got to a certain level, we played out every single week. If it was initially it was weekdays and it moved into weekends, but it was every single week. And so, well, how many, I mean, and you just, the logistics of moving four guys around in a piece of shit vehicle, hundreds and hundreds of miles with everything, and we're talking about no cell phones or anything else, and anything can happen and does on the way. Yeah, it's crazy. So speaking of war stories, it's like shit.
What a good segue.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So give us a war story, Andy.
Well, yeah, not necessarily sailing the high seas, but more gig stories. I remember being 18 and I'd been playing drums in a blues band, a local blues band, and they were all old guys. And Alan, the drummer, who the only thing he ever taught me was how to spin a stick. And I still remember I do that to this day, but I learned nothing else from him other than watching him. He was a great drummer, but he had heart problems. And so, Andy, can you step in and play blues? Now, I was proper heavy metal drummer at that time. You know, it was like, and then I got a gig playing the blues. And the first thing that the harmonica player did was shout at me and, you know, just calm the fuck down and just play the beat. So it was a great foundation in pocket and, you know, playing. And anyway, through that gig, I met another lad who was like a hard rock player who sometimes played blues and ended up playing drums for them at this charity event in a pub. What I didn't know it was a Hells Angels charity event in a pub, and we were supposed to play for as long as they fucking wanted, which ended up being roughly 24 hours over and over again whilst they looked aggressively at us. And I knew it was all a bit odd anyway. The guitar player's father transported us from gig to gig and this will not translate well, but in a Reliant Robin. And a Reliant Robin is, I forget what size engine. I think it's like an 800cc. It's like smaller than a big bike. Three-wheeler, right? Front wheel. Like a plastic body and a little steering wheel, gearbox, and 2 seats in the front, 2 in the back. But if you went around corners, you'd have to sort of go around a corner quite gently, right? A lot of bikers who'd had accidents ended up having Reliant Robins because it still had that bike feel, you know, the danger anyway, right? And anyway, we pulled up, we got all the stuff out of the van, the Reliant Robin. He had to go back and get more stuff because the Reliant Robin's so tiny. When he came back, he said something. He wasn't the most diplomatic of men. He said something abruptly to a Hells Angel that was in his way. And then we walked into the pub. And whilst we were in the pub, the Hells Angels surrounded the Reliant Robin and picked it up and took it away to another car park somewhere around the back. And they just lifted it up and carried it, and then put it on its roof, upside down in the car park. So that started that. That was the beginning of the gig. And then first song, the bass player, and it's always a bass player, Tom, you know this.
Sure.
The bass player thought, fuck it, I'm losing it. I'm going to go. I'm fucking having it. And he did a rock and roll number, did a thing flip with his bass, and then did a high kick against the wall to sort of jump off the wall and then, Steve Harris the fuck out of everyone, right?
I like this guy already.
All right. Alan, his name was. As he high kicked, his foot went through the wall, which was just plasterboard, up to the knee at quite a high angle, right? So and all the angels just started laughing. They just started laughing and pointing at it. And can't get out. And I'm playing the drums, and this is my first gig with the band, and I'm like, what? He's stuck. He's formidably stuck, and they're all laughing. And we're just he's fucking playing until this Hell's Angel sort of grabs him by the waist and sort of pulls him out, and a load of cables and stuff that are attached to his foot come out with it, and then all the lights go off.
God.
Oh, that's pretty good.
It was.
You can't make this shit up.
You can't make
this shit up.
Well, if you did, people wouldn't believe you. And the thing is, at the time, the only thing that made any noise at that point was me on the drums. And I just sort of fell over myself laughing. But we were in darkness with about 150 Hells Angels who now didn't have music or lighting or anything. Yeah, I don't know how we got out there alive. Managed to get the power back on and we carried on playing. But I stayed with that band for a good 3-4 months before moving on as rapidly as I could. Jesus Christ. That's a fairly tame one, but, still. At 18, it's like, it can't get any worse than this. And inevitably, of course, as we gig and as we go on, it doesn't change. It's just, I think you build up a callus for the surreality of it and also just the nonsense that goes on. It's the most bizarre stuff that you see, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, you're almost always put in a situation where things are going to go sideways or can go sideways at any given time because you're just put in a place with a bunch of drunk people and anything can happen. I mean, it was a completely, it was so specifically, I don't even know how to say it. And it would happen all the time where somebody would have to knock a microphone into me or be pawing at my guitar. Because we would play stages sometimes that were 12 inches. So you're basically on a riser. And you got drunk dude just, everybody's freaking out. So, of course, it's part of the style of music that we play. It gets people going. But yeah, I mean, that's just part of it. Expect that. It's like putting on a rain jacket if it's going to rain. It's like, yep, there's going to be a drunk, something's going to happen. Yeah. There's going to be a fight. There may even be blood. There might be an ambulance. They may shut the shit down. Something's going to happen all the time. So I have a lot of war stories, but the one I remember that was I have two very surreal ones, but one that was just like, are you fucking kidding me, twice? So, and it involves Thom, and hopefully Tom's okay with me talking about the Cape Fear.
Oh yeah, that's a good story. Yeah, good. So, yeah, it's terrible.
The whole situation of this was sketch anyway. So this was in Newport, Oregon, which is a coastal town, and it was a cool club called Cape Fear. It was basically like a cinder block bunker, and it was all ages, but it was all ages in a very dubious, like, there are kids wandering everywhere and there's alcohol and stuff going on. And it's always kind of felt like anything could go sideways at any given time. Yeah. And, but very enthusiastic crowds all the time and very, very welcoming. And the guy that ran the place was a good dude. And that's where we knew Thom will nod on this story. That's where we knew we had made it because we were sitting in the van waiting to go into the show. And a group of people walked by and saw us in there and they go, "Child rocks." So we knew we had made it because we had become priest and maiden and we're child. 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 Yeah,
nice.
So anyway, we're playing our show and we're done and Thom, there was a ramp on the left side off the stage and they had flashing lights and shit and Thom had. We're not 100% sure if the lights caused the problem or he just. But anyway, he fell, hit his head, and started convulsing. And how I found out about this, because I'm getting my gear and everything else, is some kid comes up to me on the stage. He goes, "Your bass player's on the ground shaking." And I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Shaking like a shitting dog.
So we went into emergency mode, and yeah, he was, so I don't know if it was from the head or whatever, but our drummer at the time, Jeff, he went into full, I got to give him 100% credit, he went into full fucking, crisis management mode, told him to turn off the fucking music, get the fuck away, call 911, get the ambulance here, and blah, 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 blah. So anyway, Tom's fine, but ambulance came. They were very cool. They did not cut your Pink Floyd shirt, right, Tom? Yeah, he had a vintage Pink Floyd shirt on, and it was the surreal part of it was all that happened. Took Tom to the hospital, followed an ambulance with Tom in it and everything else, and sitting in the hospital as a band, waiting to find out what was going on. And then we went home. But another thing happened at that gig too. It's like, you can't make this shit up. My amp after the show, I had it sitting on the side on standby. And some kid comes out to me again and says, "There's smoke coming out of the back of your amp." So, yeah, smoke is just pouring out of the back of my amplifier because I had just had it serviced and they put in a cap wrong, backwards. Somehow I made it through the show, but then it just decided to. So, again, it's just like some random kid, "Oh, your amp's on fire. The bass player's on the ground. He's shaking."
I like how they're all from The Simpsons too.
Yeah, well, it was. It might as well been, but then I just remember coming home afterwards, and it was just like, that's the most. Oh, and a little aside to this, not much, maybe a few months later, we're up in Portland playing the Mount Tabor Pub, and there's a little restaurant next door to it, and we're all sitting in there, and a guy. Did he notice us, or did we notice him? Tom, do you remember?
I don't remember.
But it was the paramedic that came to the show in Newport and helped Tom. And wow. Andy, this is like 130 miles away or something.
Yeah, it's a long way.
Not the same region or anything. Fuck. So just the randomness of that, and here we are playing again. That's kind of a testament to how much we're playing, right? We're playing there, we're playing here, and like
yeah.
But yeah, that was
guy's following you around.
Right, he probably needed to.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow that bass player around. He looks fucking ill.
But that show was, surreal, scary, terrifying.
Yeah.
Everything that you could possibly have happen. It was just, it was crazy.
Yeah, I'm similar one to that. The guy's nickname was Floppy, and he did sound and lights for local bands, and just to pick up extra cash, I used to just sort of be the gopher for him, go fetch this, go fetch that, right? And we did a gig for, it was by the beach in Broadhaven, which is a couple of miles from Haverfordwest. It's on the west coast, southwest coast of Pembrokeshire in Wales. Beautiful part of the world. And they had a venue there, and they were doing, there was a band on, and they were a soul band with full brass section, 3 girl backing singers, lovely little tight black dresses, that kind of vibe. A gregarious guy singing out front, doing all the hits and stuff. And we were doing lights and sound. And about halfway through the gig, Floppy disappeared. I'm like, okay, where's he gone? Better check on him. And I went out, and he was in his van, half in, half out the van, lying there in what I later realized was a diabetic coma, and proper bad. He'd mentioned this to me, that he now and again got ill, and that's all I knew. I didn't know anything else, but I don't know why. I guessed what was going on. He'd been tired all day and hadn't been looking after himself. And I thought, what the hell can I do? And in his glove box was a Snickers bar. Now, over here, back in the day, they weren't called fucking Snickers. That's you lot. That is. They used to be called marathons. So anyway, it was a marathon bar in his glove box. And I got it out, and I took the wrapper off, and I just shoved it in his face. He was like, right.
Oh, Floppy.
Floppy. I shoved it in there until he wasn't floppy any longer. And miraculously, he sort of came to. You know, like, oh, what the fuck?
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah, he came too.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. That was his, he never looked after himself properly. And so when he used to get into that, if he felt bad, he'd eat some chocolate or something. That was the way he managed it.
Yeah.
Terribly. But I was on my own in the dark in a car park with a guy. I was like, what do I do? It's like the CPR or a Snickers bar. Fuck it. Let's go with a sugar first. I just rammed that fucker right in his face. Fuck it. And he came too, luckily. Like like a clear,
That's awesome.
Episode of ER or something. And fuck, just why? Just some of that, some of the stuff that you see at a gig. You just think, I'd never see this shit anywhere else. You just see the weirdest, strangest fucking people, high as kites or drunk as fuck,
right.
And sometimes it's been me, but when you witness it, and in a band, unless you're in a band that parties, if you're a working band and you're out there gigging and you've got to drive fucking 200 miles after the gig or whatever, you're not drinking.
Right.
So, and you've got to get food and stuff, so you're sober. And so that sobriety lends to surreality when you see people at their strangest because they're high or drunk.
Oh, yeah.
And you're not. That juxtaposition between the two things is miles apart, It's so, like you said, Rich, at this gig there might be bloodshed. There's definitely drunk people. Definitely.
Always. Yeah.
There's going to be beautiful people as well. But, I mean, the last fucking, the tour I did with the Steve Harris lot, at one of the gigs, I mean, I was massively groped by quite a few women of my age who should know fucking better. Right? Because they're fucking pissed and we're coming up and signing and all that sort of stuff. You get goosed and fucking groped and all this. You think, fucking hell, your husband's right next to you. Can I have a photo, please? Next thing you know, it's, oh, fucking hell, behave yourself. Because they're pissed. They're having a good time. And they've seen you on stage and, you looked better than you do now. I don't know what it is. That sort of divorce of reality, It's like entertained. And now they're right there and now I can grab them and things. It's most bizarre.
Guy's named Floppy. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So mine is 4 stories in one. 4 stories in one show.
Ooh.
So
4 stories.
It is Lake Union Pub on beautiful Lake Union in Seattle, Washington. And story number 1 is I was up with our friend Richard Miller in his little mid-'80s Chevy S10. And to get shows, we used to carry around a press kit. The press kit had like a picture of the band, maybe like a description of them, and a CD, right? If you were lucky, you had a CD or a tape or something, and you would do it. So there's moments where you just can't predict the future, right? And so I'm a young kid, fresh out of Christian school, and we were walking in there, and at the time, the booking agent is like the guy that works the bar, and he's the guy that cleans the restrooms and all that. So the first thing we did is I said, well, my band's going to come play Seattle. We want to collapse in with a couple shows. Here's this. And I realize as I'm handing him the press kit, behind me are 2 closed caption televisions showing pornography. And the money shot occurs, and the entire bar is clapping as I'm like handing this over. And I thought, oh, I'm such a great, it sounds like this is a crowd we can really get our, sink our teeth vibe into. Yeah, and then I realized, oh, they're watching porn on a bunch of televisions. Oh, okay. So we drive back, we book the show, we come up for the show. The second is we get there and they say, well, we have to move the pool tables out of the way. So they make us move before you can play. We can move the pool tables out of the way. This actually has 5 stories in it. So we move the pool tables out of the way and we start playing. This is a regular set. We're going kind of crazy. It's good. And all of a sudden, the kick drum starts missing beats. And Jeff, our drummer, had heard through Hip Raider magazine or some whatever, we didn't have online forums back then.
Sounds like a creative idea, Connie.
That you could glue a quarter to your bass drum and the beater head hits against it. And that glue hadn't quite dried. And so when he would engage the pedal, it would go, and it just stuck.
Stick.
So every other, when he's like kind of messing with it, trying to,
Oh, what a knob.
Okay.
Oh, lovely.
He's all, how can I get that Vinnie Paul click?
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it was. And so we make it through this show, and it's probably a double set. I don't remember another band being there. I don't even remember doing a poster for it. But it still is an epic show nonetheless. Now, all the while that we're sort of breaking down our gear, where it kind of goes in piles, right? So as things come out, like drums come off, and you're kind of putting them in all this, basically all these piles. Rich gets sidetracked with basically two gutter punks, one tall African American gentleman, and one short gutter punk goth looking chick, and they are so drunk you can smell the alcohol coming out of their pores, right?
Yeah.
Like 2 feet away from them. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is back when you could smoke in bars. And so people are smoking, they're drinking and stuff. And they would not let Rich go. They're all, hey, you remember that song? What was it, Rich?
Tear the roof off the sucker, tear the roof off the mother sucker. I'm like, yeah, it's P-Funk. Yeah. And this guy has his arm around me. He has a huge mohawk. Like a huge green mohawk.
African American with a green mohawk.
And the girls
It's
on the other
amazing.
side of me, and he's got me, and they're like, yeah, I love that song. You know that song that goes, tear the roof? And it was just a cycle. And I don't know how long it went on, but I was just, talk about surreal. It's like, oh my God, what kind of weird form of hell is this? I found it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
like
And you don't want to be
under
rude.
the stairs
You don't want to be an
hell.
arsehole.
No,
you just want
no.
to, you just want to be, when is this loop stopping?
Yeah.
So Rich is distracted. Let's put it that way. With what's happening. So the singer goes around to the back, pulls the van around. We're in the front. We're double parked, and we're starting to load. And it's like Tetris. It's you have a method and a certain thing. And I'm the little guy, so I jump in the van, and I'm kind of like pulling it out there, and it's sort of the gear's kind of sitting on the sidewalk, and the drummer comes out with his bag, and he's laying it down, and somehow or another, the top of the hi-hat stand penetrates the cover, the grill, and goes right through the speaker of my brand new Trace Elliott 210.
Right.
And at the time, that was a lot of dough, man. And we're like, this is like if somebody was like, I will give you $1 million to replicate this. It was impossible. It just literally, it was just the nature of the beast. It was just what happened was, this happened, and we're like, oh God, this is really bad. And so in our young, whatever, we grabbed some band fund money the next day, and we went and we bought a almost 4 foot high 18-inch cabinet JBL that was meant for speakers, because we thought, we'll be able to replicate that really, back when you just blew air everywhere you went. So obviously the more power you had, the better you would sound. Well, that it didn't work. We could barely fit the 210 in there. Now we're kind of like, I could maybe replace the speaker.
An
18-inch
What
speaker.
were we thinking? It's
like, you couldn't hear it, you could just feel it.
Exactly. I'm sure
Like a whale call.
I'm sure some middle-aged women really enjoyed it, but otherwise,
in a different state.
Yes, indeed.
Wow.
Same feeling I get when I dry clothes.
We got kind of pushed into making a rapid purchase because we had more shows.
We had more shows that weekend.
We bought. I remember we bought it in Tacoma, so we had still had more shows. So it was like, got to go do something now.
Ted Brown music, man.
Brown
that was
music,
and weirdly enough, to bring it back to something Andy mentioned, the fellow that we hung out with in San Jose.
Yeah.
Mike, that was the guy that sold us that, working at Ted Brown Music.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's a small world.
Yeah, man.
Small world.
Yeah, like just gear letting you down. The various what the fuckeries,
Yeah.
Like, especially, I haven't, like, later on in my playing, I tend to use tube amps, but from the majority of my playing, it's been solid state. It's been, whatever I can get my hands on. It's fairly reliable. I mean, the whole tour with British Lion was solid state stuff and pedals, and just because things had gone wrong so many times before, so I tend to carry around at least 2 redundancies now, just in case,
Yeah.
But fuck, I mean, some, like back in the day where you'd take 1 amp, and those are the leads you had, those cables there, that's it. So something farts and fucks up. Well,
Yep.
you're fucked. The amount of times I've gone directly into something, direct into an amp and bypassed the board because the board's just decided that day to just corrupt.
Yeah.
It's like, why now? It's always a cable. It's always the cheapest part of the link. It's always something it's never like.
I remember having being smart enough to carry my own DIs with direct input boxes, and it was just the smartest thing ever. You walk around these guys, and they have flashlights, and they're all kind of like, I'm like, oh my god, you're serious.
I remember finally getting to a level that I could afford another amp, and so I mean, think back about it. I toured with a 1968 Fender Dual Showman forever. And for a backup, I had a Music Man HD something another head because it was the closest approximation I could find without finding another Fender to do big clean. And for a little while, I even toured with 2 412 cabinets. The thing is, we play these tiny clubs and we'd be blowing a 100-watt head through a stack, and that was what they expected,
Yeah.
And then it's funny because my last kind of I expected it's the amazing thing is how well you become at troubleshooting, right? Because things go sideways, and they always go sideways while there's fires burning. So it's like you're like, oh, okay, this, that, boom, go. So you troubleshoot really quickly. So the last one that I had, poor Tom blew up. Yeah. It's a very Spinal Tap moment for us. So a few years ago, and Tom was there. We played at this. This is the last iteration of Henry's Child in 2021. We played this festival in Winnemucca, Nevada. That's like a Sturgis thing called the Runnemucca.
Right.
And I'm playing an orange solid state head through my.
Sorry, Sturgis thing. You mean like a motorcycle rally?
Motorcycle thing, yeah.
Right. Okay, cool.
It's called the Runnemucca. Really cool.
Right.
So we get there, and we're getting ready to sound check, getting ready to play because they're doing it on the run. And I'm getting no sound, and I'm like running through the whole process, trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. Never could figure it out. Finally, the band that was coming after us was Jack Russell's version of Great White.
Okay.
So one of the guitar players said, said, "Can Jack? Was it John? What is it? Jack? It's Jack, isn't it?"
It's Jack White. I think it's Jack White from...
Jack Russell.
Yes, that's right. Jack Russell, as in the dog. Yes.
The dog. Bless his soul. He's gone now.
Exactly.
But anyway, one of the guitar players said, "Try my cabinet," and it was the cabinet. That is the first time in sport. It was my cabinet. Can you believe that? The lead had come off inside from the speaker.
Oh, fuck off!
First time in my music career of 40 fucking years that I've had a cabinet shitbox on me, and it just must have shaken itself loose on the trip. Last thing you would ever expect to happen. So that was a new one, but the thing is, as you know this, and Tom knows this, it throws you so hard and it takes you out of the moment. It sucks because you're gearing up to play, you're putting on your boots, you're getting ready to do what you do, and all of a sudden it's like it just sucks you out of the moment.
It's that, and the worst part about that is, you're on your own because no one can help you. It's your gear, you got to sort it, and you're in the dark, right? And then you get that adrenaline, that thing that in the pit of your stomach, and it's like, oh, fuck. I've been here before, but no doubt this is going to be a different solution. And it usually isn't. It's usually a fucking cable. It's always a fucking cable.
Yeah.
It's usually the one you've just bought as well. It's never like the old shit one that's been going for fucking years. I had a what was it? Before Diodario, Planet Waves.
Yes.
Right? I had a Planet Waves cable It was 16 years old. I mean, like the rubber was coming off and all, and it just still fucking worked, man.
Yeah.
And then eventually it just went, and that was it. It was gone. But rather that than that slow dying nonsense that cables tend to fucking do, and you just wiggle them a bit and hope for the best. And, you know, but yeah, like if it's a tour and it's meant to, you know, like the tour comes up and I tend to get new cables and test them and okay, that's going to work. And they never do. There's always something goes wrong. It's like, fuck, man, just fucking work. Just work.
Cable or power supply or God forbid, and this has happened before, it's like something is not plugged in all the way. It has jarred itself loose.
It's like
those are the hardest because they're the anomalies. You don't expect that to happen. It's like you're going through the process of it must be what's typical, and it's like my cab.
The latest gigs I did, like that tribute stuff, and a couple of things with my own band is using in-ears.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm guitar's hard cabled to the amp, and then I'm hard cabled to the desk for my in-ears, which is a fucking long cable as well. And so I've got 2 packs on me that I'm struggling with. I can't stand in-ears because it's awful. I'm not in the room anymore. I'm in a weird mix of my own existence, and I can't hear anything other than me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And every time I move, I'm catching on something. Oh no, you've got to loop it around your belt, and you've got to loop that around there. And I don't want to think about that absolute fucking crap. I just want to plug in, walk to a microphone, and hope for the best.
Yeah.
You know, having spent the last gazillion fucking years not having a good monitor mix, and now not having a good in-ears monitor mix. It's, you know what I mean? I'll put up with all that shit. That's okay. But
it's the blessing and it's the blessing and the curse, dude. Having your own. I mean, it's, you know, when you started, it's wonderful, but no, I mean, that or battery packs too. And then I'm always like, let's go to Costco and buy some batteries. And
here's my issue. We just, you know, modern technology is great, and I like the fact that the in-ears will give me, you know, doesn't hurt my ears. You know, I'm not getting that full, but it takes you out of the room. It's you don't sound right, you know. And as a guitarist, you know, it's like you're really, if you give a fuck, and I know you do, you're thinking about your tone. And if you don't sound right, it gets in your head. It's like,
and you don't sound right on in-ears. You just don't. You can get
and then you listen to yourself in the room. You listen to, or somebody records you. It's like, I sound perfectly fine, but not in that. You know,
no, not in that.
That's my biggest thing. Plus, I like to fill the room. I like to, you know, have the air. Plus, and then we're all trying to talk to each other, and it's like,
oh, I know, taking these things out just to talk and then putting them back in again. No.
That just happened to us yesterday.
Yeah, we added one person to rehearsal, and they just like do you go over and like hold the guy's guitar and go, stop playing for 30 seconds. I need to say one thing, you know, and then I'm the angry white man that's, you know, what, you know, anyway. Yeah,
I know. My ideal thing would be just back to wedges, and a good monitor guy obviously helps.
When we played the Wow Hall and we had raw wedges, they would go through and they would take the time to be all like, cool, do you hear this? Do you hear that? Like, and that's all it is. You know, these other...
Do you need more of this? Do you need more of that? Yeah.
I'm sure Floppy would have given you a good mix.
Oh, he did, yeah. He was fucking useless. But I learned years ago, it's actually a Bruce Dickinson thing. With his monitor, it's not a pretty sound. It takes... It's all the frequencies that would fight with everything else. Yeah. You take those out, you just have those nasty little top mids, right? A real piece of piercing things. All he wants is loud. He doesn't want effects, he just wants loud and clarity. Yeah. And a couple of gigs where it's like the in-house sound guy, I've said, can you get any more of my wedges? I just need a bit of my guitar, not much. Mainly bass, please, for pitching, drums, and my vocals as much as possible. And it'd be, that's all I can give you, man, that's all I can give you. And it'd be like, no, take all the effects off, take everything off that you've got on there. Just that gnarliest mid frequency that you can find it, put that in, that's my vocals. And they'll be like, but it sounds shit. Yeah, but I can have it loud as fuck, man. And then I can hear myself.
Right.
You know, it's the old school tricks. It's like, I want my guitar tone to be good and I want it within the mix. But that's my vocals. I just need to pitch. And then my inner voice is my vocal thing. You know what I mean?
Right, because you can hear, you know what you sound like.
Yeah, I don't need a beautifully produced vocal to sing my stuff. I just need to be able to hear that and be able to pitch, and then I can perform that. That's fine. But guitar-wise, I'm like, if the tone's not great, if I'm not hearing the bass, if I can't hear the bass, I'm fucked. Got to have the bass more than anything else, really, for me. And getting that mix in ears, you can do it, but when I'm saying I need to hear the bass, I need to feel it as well. I need to feel that low-end thump. I need to hear it, the clarity for pitching. But if I can't feel the bass and the crowd can't feel the bass, and then they're not moving. They're not moving. They're not going to move if they can't feel the bass. Simple as that.
It's always crazy to, if you get a chance to actually take your lead and go out in front of the mains and actually, you get it. You get the whole, especially the drums, man, with the whole kick and everything else. It's like,
it's a lot of
your chest,
a lot of control. A lot of control you surrender for sure.
Yeah.
Totally. That's part of the war stories too. It's like if you've never done this, and it's there's so many little moving parts, and it's just it's like a carnival. It's like how the hell you get it moving from one place to another and get it to work is crazy. And then you're always reliant when you're playing clubs on whoever the personnel is, and it's like if you got a guy that doesn't give a fuck, well, you could sound like shit, or you piss him off, you could sound even worse.
Oh, even fucking worse. These little kings.
Yeah.
That control the little domains. These little fucking tiny phallic fucking arseholes who there's so many of them. And when you do come across someone who's just a wonderful sound person and they know what they're doing and they just want to get the best out of you, it's so fucking amazing because 9 times out of 10 it won't be, and it'll just be this little fucking, well, that's all you're getting, that's all I'm doing, blah blah blah, I'm not getting paid for this shit, fuck you. There's no pride,
Yeah, and it's funny because it's almost a trope now with me that every single show that I play, the first people that I go up to and talk to, I go, how did it sound?
Yeah.
Because it's not on us. I mean, we can only do what we can do, and it's like from there, I don't give up, because my setup now is I go straight to the front of house. I don't even have an amp I don't have a monitor or anything behind me. It's all in ears and everything else. Mm-hmm. So, you're still reliant on somebody not see, I don't want them to fuck with my sound. Don't fuck with my EQ. Just make it loud enough and make it mixed to make it, because if somebody decides, it used to be back in the day, they're going to put reverb on everything. It's like, if I want reverb, I'll put reverb on it, It's like there are parts that I want it on, there's parts that I don't want it on. So,
and it's easier now if you're just going front of house. Like I've got the Kemper here and I've got the Friedman. It's an easier gig for them. You've already got a produced guitar sound. You don't need to do anything with it, and yet still, still. I mean, when I did a couple of tribute shows, the theatre gigs were good because the guys at the theatre were professional sound engineers who do theatres. They knew their room, they knew what to do. And he said, "You haven't got an amp, have you?" I said, "No, I've just got this Kemper straight out." He said, "Oh, thank God." Okay.
He's probably happy about that.
Yeah, he's really happy, and it sounded fantastic. Whereas, I've done gigs where the trouble is with going straight to front of house is I was working with a singer and she still needed air on stage. So I'm running a cab on stage just for her. So she's got something, she can take her ear out, in ears out and sing to that. I don't know. I still think it's not that fucking complicated to mic up an amp and drums and it sounded good, because they did that for fucking years. And it's only the sort of last sort of 15 years, 20 years or so where it's become de rigueur to just do front of house stuff, and everyone's going, "Oh, you just got to be quieter, you've got to have, got to be silent stages." Well, they're not silent stages. It's still a fucking drummer hitting shit, and it's still fucking loud as fuck. It's just you can't hear everybody else. The fashion for it is frustrating, to say the least. I'm not saying I want to carry 2 412s around anymore, but if I want to, I want to,
You have been watching and listening to the Satellite Trampoline 3 podcast. Thank you for your company. Catch us next time.